Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I have a few amazing updates. If you're not a part of the orchid full water culture group I'm a part of, or you haven't checked out my blog recently, then you will be surprised at these updates. So we're going to start with my roses. I had to bring them in because there was like a cold front coming through over the weekend. So I put them outside for the cold front, and if it warms up, I might bring them back in. So far, there's no updates on this guy. And here is my rose seed that I'm trying to grow. We got no updates on him either. I'll check the soil before I water them because I'm going to water them all at once. Much more easier that way. And when I went to check this Christmas cactus, I noticed, I don't know if you can tell, but this one is dying. I'm going to try to show you guys as best as possible. This one's dying. And the ones I just snipped off there were attached. And they're still a nice green color. It's just I don't think they're getting the nutrients that they need to grow. So what I did is I cut off the bottoms of bottles and just going to use that as its little planter. I'm creative and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you how to plant them in case you missed my last video where I showed you how to do this. You just want to get soil. Any soil would be good. But the soil that I use is Miracle-Gro Moisture Control, which it will not overwater your plant. Okay. You want to try to stick them straight up, but sometimes they don't want to do what you want. So you just dig a little hole and you try to set them straight up. But this guy is defiant. I've tried it twice already. So we're going to stick him over here. And then we got another one. I just didn't want to cut them off individually. I wanted to keep them together as much as possible. So there's this guy right here. He's still a nice green color. So again, I'm going to make a little hole in here with my finger and just stick him in there. And he actually leans against the bottle, which is really good. With these guys, I'm just transplanting. I'm not going to use fertilizer with them because it is fertilizing week. See, this guy was growing a new one, but I don't know if you can tell the end is bit off a bit. So I think it was starting to die. So maybe with me transplanting it like I am, it has a chance to grow. So with these guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to water them right now. I'm just going to take my distilled water, which I water with all my plants at this point, and I'm just going to put just a bit to fill it. And that's okay. It'll go down, and it will feed your plant as it's needed. So you don't have the chance to over water it, which is why I love this soil. It just sticks down in, and it will feed your plant as needed. Just love Miracle-Gro. They have awesome products. I haven't used anything other than Miracle-Gro because I love it so much. And that's all you do when you replant them. I'm not going to fertilize them. I'm just going to let them be the way they are. Okay, so on to my next Christmas cactuses. This one's doing surprisingly well. So you can see over here, there's a new one growing on there, a new leaf, I think. I can't tell the difference between a leaf and a bud, it's almost the end of October, and they're supposed to start giving buds around Thanksgiving time. So I'm just checking the soil, and the soil is dry. The soil is bone dry, which is good because they are cactuses. So here's this guy. I don't have much hope for this guy right here. As he fell over, because it's starting to lose its color, and I think that's a really bad sign. I have one over here that's really in the soil, and it's doing okay. It still has that dark green color, which is good. It has the same color as this guy does, which, when I get more bottles, I'm going to transplant them because I don't like him leaning over that much. So I'm going to transplant him all the way back up to here so he can regrow the area. This guy keeps falling over, but I think he's dying anyway, so I'm just going to unbait. So I'm going to transplant these guys a few more times once I get enough bottles to do so. I don't know where I'll put them, but this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to check this guy for water. Yeah, he needs water too. So now we're going to move on. I don't want to smash that guy. Oh my god. I'm going to smash him. To my full water culture Christmas cactus experiment. It has been drinking a lot of water because the water was up to here and now it's really down here. And I think I see roots growing right there. I think those are roots. I can't lift him off because he's sticking to the side of the cup here, which I don't know if that's what they do, but I'm okay with it. So I'm just going to take the water out. But it looks like he's growing roots, which is a really good sign. For what I've seen, not many people have had a success with just the clippings of him in water culture. But I think since I had the water so high, he's starting to grow. There was a section right here that was a clipping. That's why I got 3. I had 3 in here, just in case one would die on me. So I think, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this guy does in the next few weeks and see if he starts growing more roots or if these 2 clippings up here just die off. We'll have to find out. It's a wait and see game, which I'm not very good with because I don't have good patience. So here's this guy that we put in here, I think it was last week or the week before. There's no new updates. It's just, as long as they have this nice dark green color, they're good. So we're going to take these plates because I had no other saucers. Because this one has holes in the bottom. Because I haven't heard that's what you're supposed to do. But the others I just transplanted into these dishes are doing quite well. They're not changing color. They're still a nice dark green, which is good. But this guy is growing like crazy. Oh my god. It's like everywhere I look, it has new leaves sprouting up here. Either new leaves or buds, but it's growing like crazy. There's like a lot over here. So I don't know if this one's working, and if it is, I have to do that from now on, but I don't know. It's a wait and see kind of thing right now with these that I just transplanted like a week or 2 ago. So we'll have to see in the next coming days if they survive. If they don't, then I know I gotta put holes in them like I did with this guy. So that's what those are. I'm going to water all of them at once, but I wanted to show you some updates before I do so. This guy, if you are part of my group or you've seen my blog in the last couple of days, you will know what this guy is doing. It's really exciting for me because I never had this done before. Not only is this guy growing a leaf, which is getting freaking big. Oh my god. But he has something. I'm going to hope you guys can see that. But he's growing something, a bright green over here. It's right there. I don't know if it's going to be a root, a stem, or a kiki. I have no idea. This has never happened to any of my orchids before because they've all have died, which I only had 3. Now I have 2. This one died on me, sadly. What I like to do every time I change the water is I like to check their roots here. This guy's going to stay in full water culture because he's been responding well to it. I have another phall over there that not so much. But the roots are still good. And it has a new growth, which I'm really excited about. I don't know what it's going to be. I've had people tell me it's going to be a root. I've had a person tell me it might be a trick. I don't care. It's something new that I'm experiencing, and I hope it will come out to be something exciting. So it keeps growing every day. I have it in full water culture. This guy's going to stay in full water culture because it has all of its roots. It's growing new roots, so that's a very good thing for me. Is if this one lost all of its roots that it's growing, I would take it out of full water culture. But it's responding quite well, unlike this guy. This guy is a different story. This guy was growing new roots, but then he stopped. So it's growing a leaf, which is good, but it hasn't grown roots since I took it out of the soil and put it in to full water culture, it's lost all of its roots. It hasn't grown any back. So I think it's trying to tell me it doesn't like the full water culture method I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in semi-water culture, which if you don't know what that is, it's just placing the orchid in water 2 days and having it dry for 5 days. So I had it in full water culture over the weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday. And now for the rest of the week, it's going to be dry. And I'm going to hope that he responds well to that, because I like the water culture method because it saves me money. And I like that. So the full water culture is a lot easier because you don't have to remember when to water it. But with the semi-water, you have to have it out for 5 days, no water, 2 days with water. So this guy is going to be out of water for the whole week, and then I'll put it in water Saturday and Sunday, and then take it out during the week, and hopefully by next week I'll have some updates on that guy, and he'll have some roots. I don't know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start watering here, which is my distilled water. I'm just going to fill up a measuring cup here that I use just for my watering. I've already decided how much fertilizer I'm going to need. For the portion that I'm using 1/8 of a teaspoon. So it just depends. If you read the instructions on your fertilizer, which I'm using Miracle-Gro, of course. It comes, you can either do this or they have different kinds of fertilizer for you to use. It also comes with a spoon, but the spoon's too big for me because it's 1 spoonful, I think, for a gallon, which is a lot of water. And I don't use that much water for my orchids. For all my plants, actually. So I'm taking 1/8, putting it into my little measuring cup here. And what you do if you have the dry, you should just mix it in there quite well. And you just mix it until it's completely dissolved. I think it is. Yeah, it's completely dissolved. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and show you guys my watering. I'm going to try. Right there. Okay. I always start with my roses because they're quite easy. Right there. Already watered my Christmas cactuses because I just transplanted them. There's my rose seeds. And I'm going to take this guy down so I can actually see what I'm doing. Like that. Being that there are cactuses, technically, they like to be dry. So I just put a little bit up there, and I have the soil that waters them as they need it. So I just put a little in, and then I'll just feed them as they need it. So you don't ever water them. I love it. So I'm going to take this guy down so I need to see. I don't like putting it on top of the cactus. I just like doing it around it. I might need some more. Just a little bit for the cactuses because they are cactuses. They like to be mostly dry. Like that. I'm gonna put the rest in this big guy because he's pretty big. And it does have holes at the bottom of that big one because I was told that's what you're supposed to do when you transfer it. You're supposed to put it in a dish where it has holes, draining holes. So that's what I did. And it seems to be growing, but I don't know for the others. The others are going to be a wait and see. So I'm just doing some more fertilizer here for my orchids here. And I still have my big roses outside if I have extra, which I'm thinking I might since it's the only guy. So I'm just watering it to where I had it last week. Then I have some more, so I'm going to put some more in these roses. And I'm going to put the rest in my other roses that has 3 rose stems and potatoes. And that is going to be it for this week. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for my tutorial. We're going to do 4 more rounds. I'm going to get to work on that tonight, actually. So I'm not up till like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning doing all of them at once. I figured that out. It's a pain in the butt, and it's tiring for me. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. Tomorrow is my tutorial. You don't want to miss that. And you're not going to miss my SmackDown live reactions. I'll see you guys then.